How many times have I said during this healthcare debate that we can't allow anything to pass? The progressives did what they always do. They moved what's called the Overton window to the extreme left, focusing on the government option and abortion funding and an expansion of Medicare and Medicaid. And everybody's, oh, we can't have the abortion. And they do what they always do. They just make sure that the structure is put into place, and you argue about things that they had no intent. It would be nice for them, but they had no intention. They'll get those added to the bill later. Senator Tom Harkin spelled this out word for word. Watch this.
What this bill does is we finally take that step. As our leader said earlier, we take that step from health care as a privilege to health care as an inalienable right of every single American citizen. And as I've said before, this bill is not complete. I've used the analogy of a starter home, in which we can add additions and enhancements as we go into the future. But like every right that we've ever passed for the American people, we revisit it later on to enhance and build on those rights. And we will do that here, surely. We will enhance and build on this.
Okay.
But we have made that first most important step to make it a right rather than a privilege.
This is the most shocking and horrifying video. Please pass this on to your friends. There it is. Let me take this a step at a time, because you need to understand what Congress has just said through Senator Harkin. One step at a time. Listen again.
We take that step from health care as a privilege to health care as an inalienable right of every single American citizen.
Okay. Health care is not an inalienable right or an unalienable right. It's neither. They know it. How do I know the progressives in Washington know it? Well, FDR tried to sell America on a second Bill of Rights. Listen to this carefully. This is from a speech that I've shown you several times, but listen to what he says.
A second Bill of Rights, under which a new basis of security and prosperity can be established for all. Among these are the right to a useful and remunerative job, the right of every family to a decent home, the right to adequate medical care, and the opportunity to achieve and enjoy good health.
Okay, he was pushing for a change to the Constitution that included those things. Regulatory czar Cass Sunstein tried to resurrect that failed attempt at creating the ultimate government control in his book, The Second Bill of Rights, FDR's Unfinished Revolution and Why We Need It. Again, the progressives know this is unconstitutional. That's why they've been pushing for the Second Bill of Rights since FDR. Now, they don't think, and wait until you see what I have coming up, they don't think you know enough about our country or our Constitution or the laws. So they're just going to jam it all in, even without a second Bill of Rights. Go back to Senator Harkin again. Do you have it? Okay. He says in this, if I'm not mistaken, this is where, again, he said it's a second Bill of Rights. I mean, it's a right. We've moved from a privilege to a right. And every time we have a right, what we do is we build on that right. It's all about structure. It's all about putting the foundation for a single-payer universal health care plan in place. Then you add the additions when the rest of us aren't paying any attention. None of these 60 Democrats who are so happy with themselves right now want to talk about the Constitution. Why? Because they know they cannot win that discussion. For them, it's, again, about creating non-existent rights.
But like every right that we've ever passed for the American people, we revisit it later on to enhance and build on those rights. And we will do that here, surely.
He's absolutely right. But did you notice what he said? With every right we've created and passed on to the people. Well, that's not the role of a senator, or a congressman, or a president. That is the role of only one individual. And you find that individual in the Declaration of Independence. And here it is. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with inherent and inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the Creator can create rights It is our job as people to protect those rights that have been bestowed upon us. That comes from the Declaration of Independence. Americans know, or used to know, that our rights do not come from and cannot be created by Congress. That leads to tyranny. Why? Because if they can create rights, they can surely take them away. Our rights come from God, not this or any other Congress, no matter the makeup. These progressives in both parties are absolutely out of control, and history shows them to be wrong. Barack Obama noted several years ago that he believed the Constitution's shortcomings included this. Watch.
The Supreme Court never ventured into the issues of redistribution of wealth and sort of more basic issues of political and economic justice in the society. Generally, the Constitution is a charter of negative liberties, says what the states can't do to you, says what the federal government can't do to you, but it doesn't say what the federal government or the state government must do on your behalf.
Exactly. Exactly. The reason the founders put it that way was for they did it for a reason. They believed in self-actualization, that government needed to get the hell away from the people and provide them with maximum freedom to succeed or fail on their own merit. It was always about merit, not provide them with every little thing that they needed or wanted. It doesn't work. It has been tried. It's failed time and time again. It's what was being done in England. Have these people ever read history? Answer, of course they have, because they have been carefully feeding you inaccurate history and cutting out all the parts that didn't make sense for them. Yet now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, the failed attempts at totalitarian government control throughout history are not viewed as historical fact anymore or lessons to be learned. They're viewed as iconic artwork, statements to screen print onto a T-shirt, or, as we found at the White House, make into a Christmas ornament. Back in a second.